Yes, I know I'm in the same shirt I wore on my last week's video. It's because I'm filming on the same day, and actually the day I'm filming this is my birthday, so I'm working on my birthday. Yeah, and just be nice. Okay, be nice. So how you doing today, guys? My name is Codename Big Bear, or Stuart if you want to call me by my first name. So today I've decided to go back and look at an early video. Well, I say look at an early video. I had a look at an early video and I decided to do a part 2 of it. So this is a video of games I would like to see on the Switch Volume 2. And the first game I am going to mention is a game I did mention on the last video, and it is Dead Space. I do want to see these here. There are still rumours that they're going to remake them, it's going to re-release them, especially with things like Mass Effect coming out. But with that, oh god, what is that game called? That Callisto something, that really nasty looking horror game that's coming out that's in the PUBG universe, and made by the Dead Space guys. I think EA might actually go, oh hang on, people are interested in this, let's get Dead Space out there. It might actually happen. Here's hoping. I really hope it does, because I love Dead Space. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Now, last time I did a video like this, I actually said, the first thing I said on the video, the first game I suggested on the video was Sam & Max. That came out last year in 2020, and I got to review the game, and I was so happy. And the fact you have Sam & Max on the console now is brilliant, and I really, I'm hoping that one of these suggestions that I put out here actually appears on 2020 again, which just means I'm a master of predicting. But it's probably not going to happen. Some of these games I don't think are actually going to appear on the Switch. I just think they would work really well or be really cool on the Switch as well. But Sam & Max Save the World, yeah, that was awesome. But now here's actually a few of the actual picks that I actually genuinely believe should appear on the Switch, and I think may even come out at some point. We just don't know. But the first one I'm going to talk about is Enslaved: Journey to the West. If you've never played this game, it is a gorgeous post-apocalyptic game starring Andy Serkis as Monkey, and you essentially travel around ruined planet Earth, and you have to get to a certain area because of, what's her name? Tripitaka, that's her name. Because Tripitaka has enslaved you, hence Enslaved, and she's forcing you to take her to a safe place where other human beings are. And you just fight these robots, use these sticks, you've got some wicked cool combo moves, you got some great platforming, the story is really cool, and the game in general is pretty damn gorgeous. And because it was on the 360, it should work on a Switch no problem, and I don't see why that will be an issue coming out. And it's a game that just needs more love. And it didn't get much love when it came out, and I got it when it first came out, and I fell in love with it. I thought it was an amazing game, and the fact people don't really talk about it too much, it's just a crying shame, and it really deserves to be kind of looked at more. And I think if it came to the Switch, it would get that, especially with some decent marketing as well. But that's another game that I would like to see on the Switch. So a series of games, 3 games technically, but one at the very least needs to come to the Switch, is Batman Arkham series. Any of them, really. I'm guessing Arkham Knight probably won't do, that's pretty heavy going, but Arkham Origins was on the Wii U, so we know that can work on a Switch, which means the other games should work on a Switch as well. But any of the Arkham games from Origins backwards, so Origin City and Asylum, would be cool, but Arkham Asylum in particular would just be amazing. Again, to have that game walking around, or just be on a bus and kind of playing that game will be so cool. You just get to be Batman on the go. And if you had Arkham Origins or Arkham City, you'd be able to fly around and glide around, be Batman, beating up all sorts of crazy villains, and just, again, having a really cool time. You won't have to put the remaster version on, because you don't really need to. Those games were amazing looking back in the day. You could literally just go copy, paste, done, here you go, have some Batman. And the fact, the Switch has all the controls, all the buttons that you need as well for it as well, would be really cool. And just be able to just do those, the Predator, oh God, I can't speak today. Be able to do the Predator, I really can't speak today. Yeah, and be able to actually be Batman and do the Predator things, as you go on the go, would be pretty sweet. I would really enjoy it. Anyway, I don't know about you. Like I said, the main crux is, I spoke about it the other week, just before Christmas. Batman Arkham Origins was on the Wii U, so why isn't it on the Switch? Why haven't they thought about porting it over to the Switch? It just makes sense to me that you have that, and the only Batman games we do have are the Telltale games, which by all accounts are very good. I've not played them, I don't know, but I've heard they are very good. But you don't really control Batman because it's a Telltale game, and it's more of, you kind of drive a story along. So I would like to actually control Batman for once. That'd be really nice. The next game I want to talk about is, well, technically 2 games. Again, same reasons as Enslaved and Batman, because they were on a 360 and a PS3, and they could definitely run on the Switch. But it is the Transformers War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron games. Those games were fantastic. They really they were the first decent Transformer games, I think, ever. They truly were. You had original style Autobots, original style Decepticons coming out, especially at the time when we had the Michael Bay films out. And to be honest, the first Michael Bay film, yeah, it's alright. I'll happily sit down and watch that again. Any others after that? Oh, they are dire. They are bad films, and I cannot believe they made so much money. But these games came out around that time, and they just blew my mind because, again, we had Michael Bay robots, and then those licensed games were a bit, well, crap. And then you had this come out, and it was so good, and we were supposed to have a 3rd game by now, but it never happened. So hopefully, you know, these will come out on the Switch eventually, but I doubt that very much because, you know, it's just so reluctant to bring them out. And again, 2 games I would love to see on a console because, again, you'd be playing Transformers, a decent Transformers game with these really cool designs and this really cool world of Cybertron, and you know, this great mechanic will be able to, you know, be an Autobot or Decepticon as well, which is always nice to have the choice, and you know, just absolutely destroy each other. And the combat in that game was really cool and definitely worth playing. And I just really think it should be on the Switch. I genuinely do. Okay, the last game I'm going to talk about was a game that's actually released on Xbox One and PS4. I don't think it was on a 360 or PS3. It might have been. I don't think it was, but either way, this game was absolutely stunning. It took a lot of people by surprise, and it was another game that just wasn't spoken about too much. But I do genuinely think this one might be a bit too much for the Switch to handle. But it is Mad Max. If you've never played Mad Max, oh, you need to treat yourself to this game. You essentially you play Max Rocksteady? No. You play Max from Fury Road. You play him. But you are in your Interceptor, and the company cutscene, you basically see something happen. The Interceptor blows up essentially, and you have got to try and build a new car because you're in essentially wasteland the entire time. So you need a vehicle to get around. And as you're going through, you build up the car, you get some really cool weapons, you have somebody on the back throwing harpoons, you've got this amazing car combat going on, and you've got a kind of cool story, a basic story, but a cool story. And if you've ever seen Mad Max, basic story is all you need, because those films, I mean, Mad Max Fury Road, Max barely says a word. In Road Warrior, which personally I think is the best of the 4 films, he barely says a word, but it kicks ass. These films kick ass. They are so good. And this game does the same thing. It gets that feel of Mad Max. It gets that feel of this barren wasteland that's going on, and these kind of weird SM villains. And it's just, honestly, it's a great game. It's really grotesque, and it's so beautiful. I don't know. I didn't realize you can make the desert look so beautiful in so many different ways. You have areas where it's just kind of long expanse, sea of brown and blue, and then it's just kind of another areas where it's like they found crude oil, and it's just kind of dark and dingy, just smoke everywhere. And then another one where you just go, and it's like an old abandoned airport, and it's just a stunning game. They are so good. The combat is brutal as well. It's basically Arkham Asylum combat. You know, the same thing kind of happens, the way you block and counter and stuff, but instead of full-on martial arts, it's just hard hitting punches and knees and maybe an elbow here and there, and then you got limited ammo as well, so you can every now and again you might be suffering, so you quickly shoot your shotgun, and that's all the shells you have for the next hour or so. There's so much with this game that it deserved to be played, and if you unlock the game and go find everything there, and again by using the hot air balloons, it's just a fantastic game. And if it can work on a Switch, it needs to be out on a Switch. There might be a new Switch around the corner. We don't know. But if there is, it needs to be on it. It needs to be. It's such a good game. Again, it's another one of those games that was understated, not really talked about too much, highly rated, but no one bought it. And they didn't buy it because I think at the time Call of Duty just came out. It just came out in a stupid window. It really was silly. But it also came out, I think, about a year or maybe 6-7 months or so after Fury Road, which should have lined up properly, but it didn't. Anyway, that's another one of those for you. So guys, that is volume 2 of games I think deserve to be on Switch. Again, down below, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. So every single Sunday we have the Bears Den here at 12 p.m. And we have on Fridays at 6:30 p.m. we have I'll Have You Know by our boy Javier here respawning as well. And it's just another type of show like this, except differently presented, obviously. And he talks about completely different things that I do. I just go random with what I talk about. But we have loads of shows going on, loads of videos on our website and YouTube. Check us out, like, share, subscribe, give us a comment down below, it really helps us out. And most of all, have a great day. Don't forget to be nice to each other, yeah?